Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Believe it or not, I managed to get the video streams up at Twitch and YouTube. So, there's the Free Talk Live streams. I think you just search for Free Talk Live on either of those platforms, and you will find our video stream that is finally up. And Ian just walked in. He helped me do it, and yes, it was my fault. We didn't have any doubt that was the problem.
Well, you don't do that every day.
No, that's really my problem. It's that I don't do it every day.
You don't do it every day.
You know how everybody, when they get a job, they say they learn quickly? I'm the opposite of that. It takes me a bunch of times to learn something.
Which means Daryl and Ian need to get better at documenting. Maybe that's the case.
Right. They want me to take notes. And, something is, there's some level of reticence that I have surrounding this note-taking. Yeah. I feel like a 30-year-old man that doesn't want to move out of his parents' house because he doesn't want to experience something new or be responsible. Maybe I can have some empathy towards this gentleman that is having all these issues. Liberty.menu is a place of libertarians of all stripes, not just libertarians like me that don't want to grow and learn things. You can go and find all kinds of libertarians at liberty.menu. And it's a place where you can list your business, your events, your organizations, and other people who abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle can, they can find it. You can put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu. Use code FTL and get a special badge. It's liberty.menu. And Chris, you got this guy who lives at mom and dad's.
Yes,
and apparently things were so bad that they had to take him, or somebody took somebody to court about this, and he tried to trot out some, obscure legal argument that he was entitled to 6 months warning, but that he wants 6 more months warning.
Yeah. It wasn't a completely obscure argument. His Google search did identify the case that allowed it, but he failed to Google search and find the case that overturned the previous ruling. So like any good millennial, he's out there Googling to try to find answers to having to work.
I like his moxie. I wish that he'd apply it to things like, gainful employment.
Yeah, and Zach, one of our followers in Discord, had sent us a link to a YouTube video so we could actually see him being interviewed on CNN, and I'm just going to say, if you had any stereotypes about what this guy might look like or whether he looks like somebody who lives in a basement,
He does.
you're exactly right.
Heather, what is a neck beard? As the millennial who is here on the show, I have heard this term neck beard, and I kind of feel like it must have something to do with beards and necks, but I don't know exactly what it is. He doesn't look like a neck beard. He looks like that mad Russian that killed off the czars.
You think?
Yeah, Razmov. I've got his name wrong. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, whatever.
Rasputin.
Heather, what is a neck beard?
I'm pretty sure it's just a beard on your neck.
Okay.
It's one of those
Have you
big
heard this
bushy-
term?
I've heard it. I've never actually looked into the millennial definition of it, but
You just feel because of the way it is that you would know.
I just feel like it's probably one of those like Duck Dynasty type beards where it's just like
Whoa.
like just gross and like
you're
ungroomed.
just going off after all of our audience tonight.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I tend to think.
No, like those poor groomed where it's just like all over the place. It just looks like you need to do some manscaping.
A talkative, self-important. Let's talk about manscaping here in a moment. Talkative,
Happy to.
self-important, nerdy men, usually age 30 and up, who, through an inability to properly decode social cues, mistake others' strained tolerance of their blather for evidence of their own charm. This is me.
Is this the definition of neckbeard?
This is what a neckbeard is as defined by UrbanDictionary.com. A socially inept individual, smug, self-important for no reason, shy, unless with fellow neckbeards, when spoken to, will quickly reveal extremely limited social experience. To a normal person, they will be definitively near autistic or aspy. Social visual cues. You want to go through the list here?
No, sure.
Fedora, trench coat, overly dressed, greasy hair, ponytail, acne at any age, dyed hair, crappy beard,
I'm just checking them off as I watch this video of
pedo
this guy.
stash, wears all black, wears all red. If you're wearing red pants,
He is honestly wearing a red shirt with all black suit.
yeah.
There you go.
Odd
Okay.
behavior, similar to low self-esteem, avoiding, darting, or overcompensating staring. Hand placement, instead of pockets, usually leaves them at sides or crosses them. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I never know exactly what to do with hands. You know what? I like to move them while I talk because that just seems better.
I tend to steeple.
Yeah.
That's like
Steepling's good.
my default move.
Click my fingers.
Signal at people with your steeple.
I do. I try to drive steepling.
One can assume virgin, furry, live in their parents' basement, watch anime. Do you know what anime is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Read manga, inflated. For those that don't know what anime is, it's Japanese cartoons. Inflated, hollow self-esteem. Will laugh at things that aren't very funny.
Wait, where are you getting this list?
This is from Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary.
Are or were obese, educated slightly better than the average person, will not understand the neckbeard concept.
And that's where it all comes down
That's
to.
where I am. Card games, board games, conventions. Brony, for those that don't know what a brony is, it's a man generally that likes My Little Pony. So brony, yeah. Are you not familiar with this?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
But I don't get that one at all.
No, I don't get
most of this I don't
I
get.
like Avengers, so I mean everybody's got their thing.
Sure.
Hasn't bathed in days, and if you get close, you can confirm. But you will, they will think that you're making a sexual pass at them and excrete more stench. Neckbeards are often found in acting, choir, and socially maladjusted arts.
Back in the day, they would have been found in
I'm so
dungeons.
disappointed. I have a couple friends that are neckbeards.
I think if you
No,
watch
I
this
just
video,
can't help but think about them.
The majority of neckbeards come from middle-class white America. Lower class learned how to live while young. The upper class doesn't have the time to, or has better things to do than to be a pile of S, it says. I don't know what it is. Person A and person B walk into a room filled with guys at computers. All of them are fat and smelly with unkept facial hair of all kinds. Person A to person B, oh wow, in this tournament for inserting fighting game here. Person C from nearby inside the room, yeah, we're awesome like that. Person B looks at person C, then at person A looks at person, I don't understand all this. Basically, the idea is that's a room full of neckbeards, and let's go. What a gross idea. So I guess this guy's a neckbeard.
I think so. The Truth Rotundo told reporters after the proceedings that he isn't ready to move out of his parents' home. He said there have been no incidents with his parents, but that he did not speak to them. That sounds like an incident. Rotundo said he has his own bedroom in the house, according to the Post-Standard. He says he supports himself through his business, but wouldn't elaborate, telling reporters, "My business is my business."
He resells anime art that he gets off of the internet.
I was going to guess Magic the Gathering trading cards.
You're probably right. This makes me think about beards generally. So here's my advice to young men out there. If you are not part of that 2% of the population that can pull off a beard, shave it.
Just can do it really well. I've never been that guy.
Right. So why do you have a beard? You've got a beard. You've got a goatee.
It's a matter of habit at this point.
It's not a full beard, so I think it's a little more acceptable. But some level of beards require grooming, gentlemen. There are very few people that can pull off a hobo beard. All right, and the hobo beard is the easiest thing to do. The second easiest thing to do is to shave. Heather, what's your thought on facial hair?
Facial hair? I mean, I've never really been a huge fan of it. If it's like well groomed and you're a clean person, it's okay. But I'm not really a fan of like the whole hot mess.
Yeah,
look.
Some women are just really
like just when it's like all over the place and you just look like a hot mess.
Yeah. Well, you got to be the right guy to pull off that.
I will
hobo
agree
beard.
with that.
Yeah. The number is 855-450-3733. I'm discriminating against you, facial hair Americans. 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. What about handlebar mustaches? Those things made a comeback at one point.
They need to.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code RADIO at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to...
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever's on your mind here on this live edition of Free Talk Live. We're talking about a young man who, 30 years old. You pick was whether it's young man, it's middle age, and some points in history. But he didn't want to move out of mom and dad's house and managed to take it all the way to court, and the judge finally kicked him out. And he's like, well, I kind of run my own business, but I'm not ready for this, to get kicked out and to live on my own and that kind of thing. His parents gave him like $1,100. God knows what they spent on the attorney, by the way, to fight through this thing.
Right.
And he's a neckbeard, apparently.
And he's a neckbeard. We looked that up. And that kind of brings us, Heather kind of brings us full circle on this. This appears to be a very millennial issue. There weren't very many
Wait, what is the definition of a millennial? Just to make sure I know what it is.
Yeah, so a millennial is a person who basically was entering adulthood, teenage to adult. Millennial, define.
So I'm not sure if I meet the qualifications for that. I just want to make sure, just so I can, properly title myself.
Right. So a millennial is a person who is, of a certain age, and looks like define a millennial as consisting of individuals born between 1982 and 2004.
Now I'm a millennial.
You
That's
are.
me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can tell you're a millennial just by looking at you. And so I'm a Gen Xer. And Chris, would you be early Gen X?
It depends on how they scale. I'm either right at the tail end of baby boomers,
okay,
or first years of Gen X.
Great. So these are sort of millennial issues.
They had dinosaurs back then, right, Chris?
There were very few.
Yes, they were on TV.
There were very few of my friends that would have been
Stone Age
living at home at, say, 25. I got out of prison at 28 years old. I'm at my mother's house. And that didn't look good, I gotta say.
Right.
But frankly, it was the best place for me at the time. But
there's some situations where, that's what family's for. They help out. But it sounds like this guy is just, freeloading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He sounds like he's not really doing much to contribute, has no intentions of working. My guess is if he's the neckbeard, he's probably just playing video games and watching his shows all day or something.
I'm
that's
going
that's
with
the impression.
Pop-Tarts.
Anime and manga porn.
And one of the things I think that really was sort of a disservice to this age group is that as news became more and more localized, people became more and more scared of letting kids go out and play. So I grew up 6 years old, taking a bicycle, a bicycle with training wheels, going to the next road over and playing with friends.
Right.
And that didn't happen with my son's 6-year-old friends. That would have been very, very odd. I let him go do his own thing now, but I would have been uncomfortable doing that at 6, and I think that's because just largely everybody was uncomfortable with it. Very few parents were doing the free range thing.
Yeah.
And I think that kids just don't have the same sort of socialization, that we did when I was a kid. I'm not saying they're not socialized. I'm just saying they're socialized differently.
Yeah, and I think for any other generation to look at this, we just sit there and go, this can't be good. And I'm sure there's some positive aspects to it, but kids, they don't go out, they don't get dirty, they can't do this, they can't ride a bike without a helmet, and sometimes it's a state saying this. It's kind of insanity, and I don't know. I tend to think of it in economic terms too. I mean, because this whole change in how we rear children also coincided with the beginning of the bubble economies that can never burst. The idea that Wall Street will be picked up no matter what it does. And now we have, people living in houses that are suddenly worth a few $100,000. Does that change their outlook in how they raise their children compared to us who were middle class back in the day and, go find a way to entertain yourself?
Right. Get out of here.
Right.
No going back to the streetlights are on.
Yeah, it's interesting. So this,
I didn't get kicked out as much as like I have seen other friends got kicked out of the house. Just get out of here.
Right.
But I didn't get kicked out, but I wanted to leave.
We wanted to go, yeah.
And or we would go to my room and maybe play with Star Wars figures or something like that. But largely we were outside, either playing in the creek, jumping bikes over ramps, or pretending we had lightsabers, or pretending we had superpowers, or playing football. It's just a whole variety of things we did, and we just, went through phases of things we did.
Right, and I think video games affected that too. Video games was one of those things you just couldn't do anywhere else other than sitting on your butt in front of a TV. And once those came up, then I think at least adolescent males were spending more time inside.
Let's go to the phones. We've got Dave in New York, Dave in Montana, actually. Sorry about that, Dave. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, yo, Mark. Long time no talk to, man. How you been?
Long live Free Talk.
Yeah, long live Free Talk Live.
What's on your mind, Dave?
It's been a long time.
It has.
Hasn't it?
I was thinking about you a few weeks ago.
You got all that snow on the roof now. I remember you didn't have no snow on the roof.
You can see my visage at, what is it, cam.freetalklive.com. I'll turn the camera so people can get a better look.
Yep, there you go.
There you go, Dave. So what's on your mind?
Hey, this guy at 30 years old in his parents' basement. I guess abortion should be legal till you're 30, huh?
I don't know if mom and dad would have taken it that far, because they could have just physically kicked him out.
Right.
Just thrown his crap out on the lawn.
Right. Change the locks.
Yeah.
This is not tough to be done. Right.
They put a skunk in the basement.
So you think that what do you think that they should have done here, Dave?
Shut the electric off down there, but shut the water off.
Right.
Yeah.
You can just say it now, Mom, you shut off my phone.
Jeez. You've turned off my Bitcoin miner.
I can't watch my anime.
and then hair on the face. To me, it's just laziness. I don't like making the mess in the sink and everything.
Sure.
If I ever do shave, I take the electric trimmer and I go out in the backyard with a mirror and just let it fall on the grass so I don't make a mess in the house.
I often cut my hair outside. Of course, I'm in New Hampshire, so cutting my hair in the winter, I'm just not going to do that.
You guys do this because you have to clean up your own messes.
Right.
So, yes, we think of these things. We do things so that we minimize the amount
you mean somebody else would clean up my mess?
No, nobody's going to. That's the point. I'm not sure
I might
this
get my
guy...
mess cleaned up, but I would have to deal with a lot of grief to get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the hair and the hair on the neck is because if you trim that and shave it under there, it itches, man, like for the first week.
Are we talking about the beard, the underbeard on the neck?
The neck beard?
Yeah.
I find any hair on my face at all to be irritating. I wouldn't call it itchy, but
once you get past the first week, it's great. You don't feel nothing no more.
And when I have hair on my face, I find myself adjusting it, like petting it or moving it or pulling on it or twisting it, or something that
twirling, twisting.
An evil genius would do, right? And my wife, it drives her nuts because there's nothing dirtier on you than your fingers. And you've been touching God knows what, and then let's twist the
Wash
beard.
Your hands.
Yeah, well, one should always wash their hands. There's no doubt, but yeah, it's just not gonna fly at the Edgington Manor.
Well, I will say the itching with regards to facial hair also applies to any hair anywhere else on your body.
Shaving and itching. Yeah,
we were talking about manscaping. That may have been the topic we were talking about. Right.
Yeah. Dave, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You just helped jog his memory.
Yeah. So Heather, what parts of a man should be scaped? And for those that don't know what manscaping is like shaving or trimming hair on your body. So what about chest hair? Let's start there. How much of this do you like? Do you like a man with no chest hair, a little chest hair? I mean, like a whole big pelt on the front. Does it matter to you at all?
I mean, I'm not that shallow of a person. For me, it's more of a personality thing.
Yeah.
But if like we're going preference, like a little's not bad. I guess it depends on the person. I think a guy that just always shaves his chest is kind of weird.
Right.
It makes me think gay.
Sometimes those guys. Sometimes
like if you
guys
like have this
really
perfectly
ripped.
like
Yeah.
But if you're like super smooth all over your body and you're a guy, it's kind of gay to me.
Okay. There you go.
Like I think gay.
Yeah.
So, but
what about
then
armpit
too much.
hair?
Like if you're like a big old teddy bear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
I've seen guys like that.
I've seen it too, where it's just literally like they're bears.
Yeah. What about armpit hair? Is one supposed to trim that or just leave it go?
No, I think guys just let that go.
Let's just let that go.
Yeah, let that
I'm
go.
good with that.
Okay. And what about down there? Should somebody spend any kind of time? Should a guy spend any time on that?
I mean, it depends.
We're talking.
It depends on how much we're talking here.
Nether regions, but should it be respectable or
like if you can't see anything because there's so much?
That's
then
bad.
Maybe
should it be like 70s afro or should it be not a putting green but maybe the fairway?
Think about people's stuff down there.
At some point or another, you're gonna have to think about this.
Why? I don't have to see them, so I don't really care.
You just do it with the lights off. All right. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,876. Antiwar.com reports at least 55 people were killed and scores of others wounded in a series of Taliban attacks across Afghanistan, starting with a double suicide bombing on Monday morning in the capital city of Kabul. The strikes hit near NATO headquarters. 25 were killed and 45 wounded in Kabul. In the neighboring Ghazni province, the Taliban carried out attacks on police forces, killing at least 14 police, including a district commander, and wounding 12 others. They stormed several checkpoints. Further south in Kandahar, security forces found a van packed with explosives. They failed to defuse it, and the ensuing explosion killed at least 16 people and wounded 38 others. Officials say they also recovered weapons and suicide vests in the same area and believe the militants were planning a big attack against shoppers near the end of Ramadan. The Taliban's attacks are on the increase because of the spring offensive. They are believed to have been responsible for the Kabul and Ghazni attacks. Though there has yet to be any claim of responsibility for the Kandahar deaths, that city is the Taliban's homeland.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the American Civil Liberties Union demanded Amazon stop marketing facial recognition technology to government agencies, citing possible civil rights violations. The ACLU Foundations of California released emails Tuesday between Amazon and law enforcement agencies in Orlando, Florida, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Oregon regarding the facial recognition technology called Rekognition, which is powered by artificial intelligence. The team of 3 ACLU affiliates in California said in a release of the 147 pages of documents, which includes the emails, reveals how Amazon and its subsidiary, Amazon Web Services, marketed the facial recognition technology to law enforcement agencies. The document release capped a 6-month investigation into how Amazon has helped agencies deploy the technology. The ACLU Foundations of California said it objects to Amazon's marketing of Rekognition to these agencies based on privacy concerns and the potential for discriminatory abuse. It sent a letter Tuesday to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos demanding his company stop marketing the product to government agencies. Tuesday's letter to Bezos said people should be free to walk down the street without being watched by the government. Facial recognition in American communities threatens this freedom. In over-policed communities of color, it could effectively eliminate it. A spokesperson for Amazon Web Services defended the company in a statement to The Hill. The spokesperson said, Amazon requires that customers comply with the law and be responsible for when they use AWS services. When we find that AWS services are being abused by a customer, we suspend that customer's rights to use our services. The spokesperson added, our quality of life would be much worse today if we outlawed new technology because some people could choose to abuse the technology. Imagine if customers couldn't buy a computer because it was possible to use the computer for illegal purposes. Tuesday's letter, also signed by other ACLU chapters and several other activist organizations that focus on defending constitutional rights, civil rights, and human rights, such as the Center for Media Justice, Color of Change, and Human Rights Watch. Malkia Cyrell, executive director of the Center for Media Justice, said in the release, we already know that facial recognition algorithms discriminate against black faces and are being used to violate human rights of immigrants.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports pirate attacks around South American and Caribbean waters are growing and violence is increasingly used during robberies committed on vessels at anchor, according to a report released on Wednesday. The Oceans Beyond Piracy nonprofit group recorded 71 incidents in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2017, an increase of 163% from 2016. They said the majority of attacks occurred in territorial waters, with around 59% of the incidents involving robbery on yachts. Venezuela, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Colombia, and St. Lucia were the regional hotspots during 2017. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after Seattle area consulting firm Brink and Tiller received a resume from Corey Wilhelm, a college graduate with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Communications, Human Resources Director Robert Bradshaw immediately fast-tracked Wilhelm's application and spoke with The Onion about this exceptional candidate.
Well, the second I saw Corey's resume, I knew I had to send it straight up to our CEO. I mean, we're talking about an applicant who not only got into the University of Washington School of Communication, but also managed to graduate in 4 years with a Bachelor of Arts. This kid's only 22, but according to his resume, he already has experience in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. We're really going to have to move fast to get this guy.
Bradshaw went on to say that company heads could barely believe the candidate had 2 years of experience working at his college newspaper and had even taken a full 4 years of high school Spanish. Since receiving the application, Bradshaw claims the company has made numerous attempts to reach Wilhelm.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on this Thursday edition of Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Heather.
And Chris.
I'll give you the telephone numbers here in a minute, but we were talking about this guy who was living in his parents' house, and apparently getting him out was so difficult that they ended up in court. We're not sure who took whom to the to court here, but they had at one point actually given him $1,100 to move out. And by the way, I have no idea what they paid the attorney, which I can only expect is more money than that.
Right.
So getting this kid out has not been cheap.
Yeah, they suggested a lot of things. Take the money, get a hotel room, get an Airbnb, do something, just do something.
Just get out.
But it reminds me of the movie Failure to Launch.
I'm not familiar with the movie. But I can only imagine how difficult it would be for this guy to move his entire Robotech figure collection out of the house. Yeah, anyway, let's go to Stan, call it in from Chattanooga. Stan, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I have a little different twist on this thing.
Yeah.
I think the parents should have been the ones thrown out of the house.
The
for
parents?
Being the imbeciles.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were the imbeciles that raised this clown.
They were enabling, perhaps?
Absolutely. And if they send him to the government schools to learn to be a communist, even more so they should have been thrown out of their own house.
Isn't this the stereotype, though, that this guy, I mean, you know, we read the stereotype of what a neckbeard was. We talked about millennials. I mean, isn't this guy just stereotypical? And if he's stereotypical, part of the word stereotypical is typical.
Right.
That's true. But who let that happen in the first place?
Clearly the parents had something to do with this. I mean, there's no doubt.
Absolutely my point. That's exactly my point.
Yes,
and
should
if
they
didn't care, why should he?
Yeah, should they be able to pawn their kid off on the rest of society?
Well, yeah, I think parents at all levels pawn their kids off. I mean, eventually you have to.
Well, yeah. Well,
you
I guess if you raise them to be functional members of society, then you're not really like pawning them. They're
off,
contributing to the overall outcome of the world.
Go make it on your own.
That are constructive. Those are people that become a part of society that does something. This guy isn't doing anything. And again, I go back to the parents who raised him.
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody.
Well, again, is there a generational change in how parents are raising their kids? And I would argue that there was. I mean, and Mark and I both experienced at a very young age our parents telling us, when you hit 18, you're out of the house.
My
was
parents
not a
didn't
surprise.
say that. I say that to my son.
Oh, okay. Well, my parents definitely
Who is
said
shocked every time I say it. Just stunned that I would say such a thing to him.
But I said the same thing to my son, and I said the same thing to my girlfriend's son. You know, when you're 18... That's the age when you decide where you're going to go and what you're going to do.
I think you may have something here, Stan, though. Check this out. So here's the plan. You got a kid who won't move out, mom and dad. All you do, take out second on the house. Take out a second mortgage on the house.
Right.
Get as much money out of that domicile as you possibly can, and then now. I understand at least Florida is a homestead state. I wouldn't be able to give you legal advice on which states this is true in. But then you go get another house, change your residency to that house, and then you just stop making payments on the old one.
Just done.
Now at this point, you're going to be in a situation where this foreclosure is not going to look good on your credit, so you might as well max out all the credit cards. And just get prepared and sink all the money you got into the new house. And then if it's a homestead state, you're completely fine. And homeboy's got to sell his katana collection to make the mortgage payment or he's out on the street.
I don't know. I think
you're
I
brilliant,
think what his
Stan.
name Dave was that caller that called in earlier?
Dave from Montana?
Yeah, I think he was on to something with the whole shutting the electric off.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you
Again,
can do
I think that the bad credit rating and the things for doing what you suggested is their own responsibility because they were the imbeciles, to use my word again, that raised this kid or tried to or didn't try to, as the case may be. But nonetheless, they didn't do a very good job, and he's doing everything he can that he was taught to do.
Thanks for the call,
It seems to
Stan.
me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think it's part of a parent's, at least this is how I felt as a parent, part of my responsibility to get my son ready for adulthood and to be able to go out there and find a job. I told him, I don't care what it is, do something, and I'm going to help you out. When my son first moved out, he did not have a job. He found a place living with some friends. It wasn't that much money, and I pitched in. I helped him out with security deposit and stuff like that until he got a job. And every time I saw him, I'm like, how we doing on that job hunt? It took him a month or two, but, to me, the investment was...
I've never had that trouble, but then again, I've
Yeah.
been willing to take crappy jobs.
Right.
Mhm.
And he was, I see it in him. He wanted, that better job.
Yeah.
But eventually he just worked fast food and he...
Fast food is hard work. There's no doubt. Those people that do it, they deserve our thanks when we go in there,
Yeah. But again, he went through, I think, he was a janitor for a while too. It was like 2 crappy jobs. And then he figured out, this is not what I want to do, so I'm going to go apply at like cell phone stores and stuff like that. And he got a good job, and he's in sales then, and then he becomes a store manager and stuff like that. So all that stuff can start if you give your kids a chance. If you continue to coddle them, don't be surprised if you end up in court and the kid's 30.
Yeah, sales is the shortcut past college. I got to say it. Ultimately, if you can't hack college, well, sales is a good route to a relatively good career. But Stan brought up the idea of nature versus nurture here.
Mhm.
So the parents are responsible for the kid, but ultimately...
And we're all parents here, so it's an interesting discussion.
Yep.
Right.
Some kids are going to be born responsible, and some kids are going to be born just irresponsible. What do you do with that kid that's a little immature at 18 years old and just isn't the sort that goes and looks for responsibility? My son, most kids want to do what their parents are doing. They want to eat what their parents are eating, whatever, want to participate in the activities their parents are participating in.
Yep.
He has no interest what you two, his servants, are about.
Right.
Like it is, he doesn't want to, I'm like, tell my wife over and over, he wants food, make him make it.
Right.
I did
that's simple.
stupid stuff when I was a teenager, you know what I mean? And my mom kind of took the approach like go out and let me kind of do my own stupid stuff, but I would take responsibility for whatever it was that I did.
The consequences, sure.
Yeah, the consequences of my action. Like she wouldn't baby me if I did something wrong.
Right.
And I did,
Right.
I got in my fair share of trouble.
So how about Heather at 18 and I don't want
No, my
I don't
story is
want
funny.
I don't want the details, but was it more or less, at some point shortly after you were 18 you moved out and you got out on your own?
No, I actually left when I was 17. So I graduated high school at 17, and then I met my daughter's father, who was in the military. He got stationed in Hawaii, and I moved out there and lived out there in my own apartment.
So like base, the
No,
military
I
is
lived
paying for
off.
it?
I lived
base.
off base, and I worked while I was out there doing housekeeping. I cleaned like mansions on the beach in Hawaii. It was
Nice.
pretty awesome. I mean, I
Right,
wasn't
right.
complaining. I was fresh out of high school living in Hawaii. Like, what more could you ask for?
So one
and I
way
was
or
only
the other.
17. So anyway, so I lived out there with him for a while, and actually broke up. And we broke up, and I moved back home to the States. And
Pregnant or?
Yes.
Okay.
And so basically, I ended up
Going back to mom's house, right?
moving back in at 18.
Yeah, pregnant.
But my mom was super awesome and super helpful, and she
What are you
was,
gonna
she
do in
was
that
like she
circumstance?
was excited, and
Yeah.
she knew that I was going to
Right.
need her, and he obviously didn't want to be in the picture and didn't want to take responsibility. So
And babies are cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So after
Yeah,
you
so
moved
I
back,
don't regret it,
new child, and you just don't strike me as someone who loafed around the house playing with the baby until you were 25, 26. You probably were.
No, so what I ended up doing is I was a stay-at-home mom for the first year, a little over a year, because I wanted to breastfeed.
Right.
And so that was the most important thing for me.
It's
good for
really
the baby.
hard to work and breastfeed.
Yeah, really hard.
I can
But anyway,
imagine.
I'll continue my little, kind of give you guys some insight when we get back.
There we
here.
go. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. I think we're going to listen to Heather's origin story here in a moment.
Oh, God.
The
I really wanna
Spoken
do
like
this.
a true comic book geek.
That's right. In this issue of Free Talk Live, Heather's origin story.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
Bam. Crash. Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is also important. And Zencash is made by voluntarists with the idea of voluntary interaction being embedded right in their white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at Zencash.com. I like the fact that they've got 11,000 secure nodes. That's more than anything that I'm out there.
It's a big number.
Zencash.com. So, Heather, we were apparently you had moved back to Mom's house. You come back from the boyfriend with a baby bump back to Mom's house, and you stay at home for about a year taking care of the kid because you were breastfeeding. Go on.
Yep. So I'd gotten in another relationship, and when my daughter was like a year old, my parents decided to move, and so I ended up getting an apartment with my then boyfriend, and that didn't work out very long. And
Well, they all fail until they don't.
yeah, relationships.
Exactly.
So it makes it that much harder too dating when you already have a child. It's just like there's a whole other element. But anyway, so then when she was like a year and a half, I got my own place, worked 3 days a week, and went to college 2 days a week. And
Did you find the college degree to be of any use for you?
I never actually got a degree. I did like 4 semesters at a community college. And
So what's that? An AA, the equivalent of an AA?
almost.
Associates.
I didn't complete my last semester.
Okay.
But anyway, so I ended up.
I've never heard of anybody saying if I hadn't have got that Associate in of Arts degree that I really wouldn't have made it anywhere.
Well, I definitely don't regret it. It was like going to Cape Cod Community College was probably like one of the best places I could have gone because it's like a lot of the professors there, they all taught at like Ivy League schools, and then they buy houses on the Cape in retirement, but they get bored, so they pick up 1 or 2 teaching classes at the college.
That's
so
awesome.
All these incredible professors at a community college, so you're paying like community college rates for like Ivy League knowledge. You know what I mean?
And I think that's a good path. If people can afford to do it and they're working, and I just don't believe that a college degree makes financial sense other than in very few fields, and even those are going to be highly competitive.
Like if you're going to go to college, have like a 10-year plan. Have like, have someplace lined up where you're going to intern once you get the degree. Like, you know what I mean? Where you make these arrangements and stuff. I know people that have done that. Like
I've been told by a couple of guys that, that have high-end degrees is basically, now this obviously would not work for everybody. This isn't advice that work for everybody, but not everybody's listening to my show.
True.
Their advice is don't go to college unless somebody else is paying for it.
Right.
So which it demonstrates that you've had the academic fortitude to stick with getting good grades up to that point.
Right.
You've gotten the you've gotten the accolades, you've gotten the grants, the whatever, the scholarships, these kinds of things, and that the parents are willing to kick in a little bit. And because it's these people that graduate with these giant, basically mortgages hanging around their neck.
Right.
With a mortgage, at the very least, you can give up the house, go into foreclosure, and then in 7 years you're fine. With the college fees, you can't even get rid of them in bankruptcy.
Exactly, because who manages that?
Because the government does.
The government does. So and we're talking about kind of extremes here. What I'm saying is like a Heather plan where you take a couple classes at a community college. To me, that would just be fun.
No,
it would be
cool.
It would be more fun for me to do that than at that age. I wish I would have given up 2 nights of drinking, and then I could have afforded to go to community college.
At that age, you could give up 2 nights of drinking and afforded to go to a community college.
I probably could have afforded to go to an Ivy League school.
Community college classes were like $200 a semester when I was going.
Yeah, and I think that's a great alternative, and that doesn't require a lot of money. And a lot of people listening to this program probably live in states where community college is dirt cheap. California could be free.
And it might not be the best community college too. So like looking into colleges is important, because like branding, it really is a thing. Like there's certain colleges that, you know, if you apply for a job, like one's going to stick out over the other one just because of the
name
and the professors and the, you know, like medical breakthroughs that Harvard's had, for example. They've had a lot of medical breakthroughs from students that have gone to those colleges. Therefore, they become like a leading college in that field.
Right.
So it's not like it's, oh, well, just you pay more money to go here. That's why it's reputable. It's because there is golden knowledge is how I'd refer to it there that's leading to innovation in certain fields.
I think it's just the brand.
Yeah.
I think that has. I think a good portion of the students that get in there are getting sold on it, and they're not getting access to the actual information. That's, you know, what makes it good, because they need some people to keep funding the project. So
these things are basically hedge fund managers at this point with a education wing. But didn't Zuckerberg start Facebook at Harvard?
In his dorm room.
Yeah. Well, did you get to see this thing where Zuckerberg's sitting in front of like the EU Council or something like that?
I didn't watch that one.
And getting grilled. Well, this particular incident, one thing that I got to see was several of them asked him whether or not Facebook qualified as a monopoly.
Of course they did.
Wow.
And what I thought was interesting about them asking whether Facebook's a monopoly, because obviously Facebook's not a monopoly.
Right.
Monopoly means that there's no other competitor in the marketplace. Mono meaning one.
Right.
Now, they are a market maker. They are the biggest social media network out there by a long shot. But, you know, at Reddit, Imgur, and a variety of others out there.
MySpace.
But the funny thing is Myspace barely exists anymore. But
but MySpace was as big as Facebook is today.
They were a market maker, and they lost their market maker status because they were crappy tech, frankly.
Right.
But what the funny thing was is that these representatives of a monopoly were asking, this businessman who's head of a market making social media network, whether or not he was in a monopoly. Do we need an economics lesson here, gentlemen? There's somebody here that represents a monopoly, and then there's me. You, sir, run a monopoly. You are sitting there pointing your finger at me, but you claim a monopoly of violence in the given landmass, be it Belgium or France or wherever it is. You are not particularly good, and nobody gets to try other governments, in their particular area.
That's absolutely true, number one, but nobody in that world ever thinks of themselves as that. They don't.
Do you think that, Facebook it can't be as private of a company as people think? Because, when you think of social media and how many people are on Facebook, it's such a powerful tool.
Oh, yeah.
To influence public opinion.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, people that don't understand how algorithms and stuff like that work, they don't realize everything that's in their newsfeed when they're scrolling, it's put there. Someone can calculate exactly what they're exposed to, what they read, and kind of start influencing their own memory and their own opinions.
That's why I don't spend as much time on Facebook as I used to.
I think limiting your time on Facebook is really, really good advice.
Yeah,
it's
read
great
books.
for seeing pictures of other people's kids and stuff, but other than that, not so much. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code radio at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
Take control of your water with the new ProPure Whole House Filtration System. The ProPure Home removes chlorine and up to 220 plus additional contaminants with Pro Max Full Spectrum Filter technology for truly great tasting, clean, and refreshing water. Order a ProPure Home today and receive a free pre-sediment filter, a $79.95 value. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com for details. Rethink what's in your water.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. We were talking about, well, we've really been all over the board this evening. We were talking about millennials, neckbeards, manscaping, Facebook and the EU. We got on deck here Trump's tweets, covering the whole thing.
Absolutely.
If you love what we do here on Free Talk Live, and by that what I mean is bring a whole different value system to radio. Look, you may be a podcast listener or listen to Free Talk Live in some other fashion, and you think, it's an internet show. That's true, but Free Talk Live is also on 187 radio stations.
Wow, we're going up.
Close to 200.
We're getting there. Yep, getting there for 200 radio stations across the U.S., and that means that people are turning on the same radio stations they listen to other major talk show hosts on, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Thom Hartmann, wherever they might be listening. And they're hearing Free Talk Live in the evenings. And if you want to see more people basically talk to about the ideas of liberty, the best thing to do is go to amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. They are responsible for us, frankly, being on this many radio stations. Let's go to David calling in from San Francisco, because I hear no one calls it Frisco, David.
Oh no, it's funny. We're an international city, and when I first got here, I tried it myself, and it's funny. There are a lot of Catholics here, and the whole idea of saints, Saint Francis.
Right.
It was very disrespectful, and the idea of there were other people since like Jesus was born on the run, right?
Yeah.
When he was born, was it Herod?
Herod was
told, yeah, better kill this kid. He's gonna bring down Rome, and so he sent out troops to kill the firstborn, right? And so they had to smuggle Jesus out of into Egypt, and he was born on the run and had to live on the run for years, right? So the idea of a sanctuary city, that's very respected. There are evil kings and tyrants and have been for centuries.
Yep.
So the idea of having a sanctuary city is a big deal, much less that you would actually have a sanctuary state. That's some amazing courage. And that's actually one of the reasons why, you remember just at the 2008 crash, California went from, we'd lost ground. We were only the 6th largest economy in the world, and then we dropped to 8.
Yeah, okay.
And now we're back up to 5.
5,
so, yeah. So, a sanctuary city is a good thing for, if you...
It doesn't seem to be doing California too badly. There was a time when several municipalities there were in full-on bankruptcy, bad management. There's still a few good stories about terrible management of municipalities in California, but that doesn't speak to the entire state. So, yeah, there's...
Well, when the people start paying attention to their own government, that's when you protect, the bridges get built right and the schools get run right and, things like that. When people give up on their own property and they stop voting and they stop showing up at city council meetings and
Who goes to city council meetings?
What's that?
Who goes to those things? Have you been to one?
Me.
Oh, I was
just going to say,
I
Chris.
was at a hearing, much less one of the general meetings, and I testified 2 out of 3 of the issues.
God.
I think...
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people, and having been involved in politics for a long time now, both at local, state, federal levels, I think there's a lot of people that they do care, but it's not for them. And that's why I think that, in a way, people that are involved in politics gain a lot of supporters, whether it's on the radio or whether you're a politician or whatever. People like to have someone else deal with it because politics, by definition, is conflict. And conflict...
Not necessarily.
Well, it is. It's people coming together to try to resolve conflict, right? Wherever there's a property rights issue, wherever there's any type of water issue or education issue or anything like that, politics is the dialogue around it. And so there's always going to be this kind of like negative, aspect, because there's no pleasing everybody. So there's always going to be unhappy people.
Be, yeah.
We got different kinds of experts. Say, like, if you... if you were in an agricultural city, then and somebody was, putting too much fertilizer on top of a hill and it was washing down into the city streets below, that's something it's not liberal conservative issue. It's turds in the street.
Property rights. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could say that, but it's common sense too, and somebody's not using their common sense on top of the hill. And, for centuries, books have been written about it. Do you remember the old Edgar Allan Poe, The Mask of the Red Death?
Uh-huh.
The idea that some king thinks that he can just slam the door and an epidemic won't get to him.
Right.
That's where we are right now. When they slashed Obamacare, they made it easier for epidemics. That's how stupid that was. And
how they make it easier for epidemics?
Yeah.
Well, if 25 million people are all of a sudden cut off of health care.
They're not cut off of health care. They're cut off of health care funding, and then it just goes back to the hospitals.
Right.
But if
emergency rooms are full of people going to for sniffles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, if it's cheaper to do something early, and there's an easy way to do it, and then all of a sudden some tyrant gets in charge and decides that 25 million people are going to be cut off of a good standard thing, and with no other choice but we did it.
No.
That's basically setting it up for an epidemic.
Well, here's a counterpoint to that is one would argue, one could argue that this healthcare program was foisted on people by a tyrant.
I never got the health care, and I always had to pay a penalty.
Yeah,
and so
I didn't either.
I'm thankful that I don't have to pay that penalty anymore.
Yeah, that's the only thing that changed for me too.
The phoniness of it, you're familiar with just the basic idea that if we all chip in our money on April 15th, we can buy stuff in bulk. We can buy ambulances, we can buy hospitals and libraries. And
governments aren't known for their efficiency and getting good prices.
And they aren't known for buying.
No, they're not.
They're not.
Well, if you're living in Tammany Hall, they're known to never be. But if you're living in a quiet, calm place where everybody wants it done right and no fuss.
I'm in a quiet, calm place, and I'm trying to build, and I'm working with the government right now to build a fire department. And I can tell you, I can build a building a heck of a lot less costly than for the same square footage as they can build a fire department.
Yeah.
And the reason is because the government hands down all kinds of mandates about how they have to, what they have to do.
Do you want to build it to last, or do you want it to?
I want a 100-year department.
Right.
But that's just because I can't compete against the fire department. Nobody will allow me to put together an efficient model to compete against the fire departments that are monopolized in the given area, and I don't want to do it.
You ought to read a book that was written about San Francisco here. It just got published about 2 years ago. It's called Black Fire, and it's about 1850, and San Francisco burned down six times in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And it apparently Tom Sawyer, Mark Twain's kid name, his fictional kid, there was really a Tom Sawyer who was a firefighter out here in San Francisco. So you look for this book, Black Fire, and I think there's a sub-headline in it about the true Tom Sawyer of Mark Twain's books and whatever.
Okay.
And it's a great book because it describes privatized fire departments and how sometimes they would show up at a fire and beat each other up in the street to see who would get to put out the fire.
Right. I mean, that's what
what's never get put out.
That's what municipal fire departments are, is the socialization of the responsibility of fire insurance companies. Because fire insurance companies don't want to work together. They don't want to put up a system. You and I have to pay for a fire department. A fire department isn't there to keep your house from burning down. It's there to keep your neighbor's house from burning down.
To the house next door, and the house next door doesn't have the right insurance.
That's the purpose
Yeah,
of it.
and so it starts in your place and burns down your neighbor's house because they don't have coverage.
Well,
now, what
the fire
happens in
department isn't
lawsuits?
not going to put out your house because it's burning. They may send you a bill for that service, but there's lots of ambulance services in this world that'll send you a bill after they take you to the hospital. That doesn't mean that you don't get to go to the hospital.
You're creating bureaucracy. I mean, if you've got a problem,
if you haven't
with
worked in a fire department, you don't know what bureaucracy is.
I think we're trying to replace bureaucracy.
Aren't a lot of fire departments?
Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire your stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Scott Bauer, and I've been a professional trader for over 25 years. I've traded for Goldman Sachs and was the first Amazon market maker at the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I'm also the CEO here at Prosper Trading Academy, the leading educational firm teaching people how to trade the markets. For a limited time, I'm giving away one of my favorite secret trading techniques used by thousands of our students every day to help build their financial future. To learn this technique right now, call my 24/7 voicemail and just leave your email address. I'll email you my free trading technique right away. Just call 1-800-228-2155. This is the very information my students use every day to invest in their financial future. Again, call 1-800-228-2155 in the next 30 minutes and leave your email address on my voicemail. That's 1-800-228-2155. Call 1-800-228-2155.
seniors thunder into a local high school parking lot like coalition forces entering Baghdad. A substitute teacher just needs to make it to her car before breaking down in tears. And a college freshman tells his roommate there's no need to hide his masturbation from him. And now a week in review that truly requires no introduction. The nation's students announced this week that they have reluctantly agreed to give the American education system yet another chance, saying they hope educators keep their promises of smaller class size, better school supplies, and intensified efforts to raise the country's international math ranking. The nation's students vowed to give the education system one more shot, despite claiming to have been burned many, many times in the past. In other news, a man overcomes alcoholism without the help of Jesus, and an outcast student and a lonely teacher have begun a somewhat endearing sexual relationship. And that was a free lesson in top-shelf journalism. For more news, videos, and reminders of your insignificance, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call... I've got something in my throat. Can you tell? It's Free Talk Live. Talking about, we're all over the board. We got to get to Trump and his tweets here, but we've got calls.
Calls are good.
Tell me real quick what happened with Trump. Everybody's going to follow him now?
A judge ruled that Trump can no longer ban people on Twitter from his account.
So I don't have to follow him on Twitter.
He can't block people because doing so violates the First Amendment.
There you go. Let's go to Stephen in Ohio. Stephen, you're on Free Talk Live.
That would be Stefan.
Sorry.
Stefan.
What's up, man?
It's all good. I was actually going to share my experiences at the Libertarian Convention and just how changing it really was.
All right.
I now know why nobody takes this freaking party seriously.
Okay.
Half of the delegation showed up either high or hungover.
Those were the fun ones.
Oh, yeah. Those are definitely some
Was this
of the more
the
fun
Ohio
ones.
LP convention?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was a candidate for governor, as most of you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what was interesting is it went fairly well, aside from everybody, as said, being drunk or high. I got to smoke pot with Adam Kokesh. That was pretty fun.
I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry. Be careful.
But anyway, what's strange is we did not actually select candidates. The delegation did not actually select the candidate.
Meaning?
Meaning that party officials, not necessarily the delegation, 5 people on the executive committee got to pick the candidate.
Smoke-filled room?
All right.
Pretty much.
Right.
But what's funny is I lost.
But why do you want democracy from the Libertarian Party, I guess, would be my question.
Because I want to make sure that the delegation is choosing, because those are the people that have been involved with the party for quite a while. Those are they're the people that change the laws, the bylaws, and amend the party's constitution.
Okay.
So what do they have to do? You have to propose and vote on rule changes to allow these things to happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that'll take you forever.
But what ended up happening is I conceded to these people. We called them the Gang of 5.
All right.
5 people that did it. But because I refused to support the party's nominee, Travis Irvine, who is an absolute joke, I was stripped of my delegation and removed from the party.
Wow.
What?
This is why I hate the Libertarian Party, at least in every state but New Hampshire.
And this is why I'm not going to the national convention, because this year, I mean, it's like showing up to a halfway house. There's just so much mentally disturbed individuals in that party. It's not even funny.
But it's all these people fighting over something that is basically irrelevant.
Right. That's what I imagine it to be like.
Social media libertarians and the people that actually show up are usually totally different crowds, but at least to the national convention, a lot of local parties are exactly what you said, Stefan. It's like there's, just a bunch of people that show up. They just show up to do drugs and drink together. I mean, that's really all it is.
What's your solution for this, Stefan?
My solution is I'm not going to take the LPO seriously anymore, the Libertarian Party of Ohio, and I am going to offer a huge apology to Ian, because he always told me the only place you could get anything done was New Hampshire, and that seems to be the case.
Debatable.
I think you can get something done in New Hampshire.
I don't think New Hampshire's Libertarian Party is probably much different.
Oh,
than
I'm not
Ohio.
claiming. I wouldn't be able to speak to the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, but
they haven't done a whole heck of a lot here either.
I would say, however, that you can the Libertarians. Small L libertarians that have moved to New Hampshire for the Great Freedom Migration have had some effect and likely will have more effect in the future.
See, the problem
what will happen in the long run, I cannot tell you.
The problem is libertarians think they can accomplish things by having opinions. They don't realize that you have to put in work.
Well, you're talking about
think
Libertarian
New Hampshire
Party.
LP has done that?
It's not just New Hampshire LP, but it's 10 years of activism that's gone on here, and there's been a lot of things that liberty-minded folks, not necessarily Libertarian Party folks, have changed in this state.
But they get so sidetracked anyway, because I've been involved with the Libertarian Party for a while now.
I don't care about parties.
I mean?
That's my whole point. I know that New Hampshire has no knife laws,
but you kind of need parties in a way to make.
Do we?
Different in a way, it's organization. It's like the framework of an essay. Like your party is the framework of your strategy in order to implement change. It's not that's what it is.
Like the party that got our crypto laws changed.
And when people start voting, in delegates or sitting officers and stuff like that, because they have a good opinion as opposed to they have a track record of getting stuff done, of accomplishing stuff. There are a lot of good, hardworking people in the Libertarian Party, but there's also so much dead weight that should just get cut.
I will say, while I do agree that parties certainly make it easier to get things done on the legislature, I think they're very dangerous, because let's say you're a member of the party, like I was, and you don't instantly kiss their butt or support everything they do, you get tossed out because you were not a party loyalist. No. The comment that ended up getting me tossed out is I had said before I had left the convention to go home last Sunday was, well, if this is the best we've got, I'm not going to support him. I'm just going to stay home. I'd vote for the Green Party candidate, Constance Gladwell Newton, before I would vote for him. Right. And that got me so much backlash, and I came home, as said, with a Facebook message saying, "We can't believe you did this. You're a traitor. We should have never let you into this party." This was less than 24 hours after I had gotten a standing ovation for my concession speech.
There you go. That's what it's like. Politics, it's an ugly game. I look forward to seeing you at some point in the future, Stefan.
Absolutely.
But what you got to do, Stefan, is you got to go back there and you got to change the way things are. You got to fight them on it, Work
keep
to
fighting.
change it.
Keep fighting. I am going to move to one of these special economic zones. You guys can fight back here. I'm going to go build something.
I hear you.
Let's go to Bill in Albuquerque. Bill, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi.
Hey, what's on your mind?
I don't know if I think I'm time delayed a little bit, so I'm not sure if you've already talked.
No problem.
About
it's
this.
Free Talk Live. Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, this was about the NFL players and the protest.
Yeah, in the first hour, we were discussing the NFL players having to now stand for the
national anthem or wait in the locker room.
Or stay in the locker room. Yep, go ahead.
Right, and I caught a little bit of this on another show this morning where he was quoting an ESPN article where I guess until 2009, the policy was that the players would stay in the showers area until the anthem was over.
Right.
And then they would run out onto the field, and everybody would cheer, and they'd start playing football. But in 2009, the DOD paid the league I forget how many $1 million a year, to have them come out and stand during the national anthem as some kind of a boost of patriotism.
Correct.
And that's when this whole thing started. And then I guess it was 2015 was the last time anyone could see any payments to the league on this. But you got to wonder, what's the economic point here? You know, is that still going on? Is the league losing money from the DOD? There's something more than just a protest here, and it's. I didn't have time to do any more research, but I just feel there's still some backdoor politics going on this.
Yeah, I think the history of the anthem and it being played at football games is extraordinarily important here because people tend to forget,
right?
What happened even just a few years ago. If you could imagine in the 70s when Olympians are standing at the Olympics and they're raising their fist in protest,
right.
What might have happened at football games. Yeah, there was a good reason why they weren't coming out and standing or being told to stand for the national anthem.
If you tell people that the national anthem has only been officially the national anthem since 1931,
yeah, less than 100 years,
people lose their minds. No, that's not true. George Washington sang it as he crossed the Delaware. It's not accurate.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Appreciate it. Let's go to Sarah in New Mexico. Whoops, I just dropped Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah.
Kidding.
I can't feel too bad about that or about Trump not being able to block people on his Twitter account.
Sorry, Trump.
In apparently in this circumstance, if somebody wants to be POTUS, you don't get the advantages of the rest of us in being able to block trolls.
Yeah.
I don't use Twitter much, so I don't know exactly what a troll is going to do, but I presume they tag you and you just get a whole bunch of notifications or whatever.
Yeah. No, people will, hit him up and offer their opinion. And people have been doing that since he gained the presidency.
Yeah, but does he really have time to sit there and read tweets all day? Like, you're the freaking president of the country.
I know.
Probably
but sometimes
reads more than he should.
Actually, he responds to some. You sit there and go, why is our president responding to this? It was like the father of the two that were released from North Korea. Trump took credit for that.
Yeah.
And the father said something like, that wasn't you that got him out.
I question whether it's somebody else
argument.
responding on his behalf, though. I've always thought that. I'm like, how the heck does he have time to be on all this?
I don't know.
Whoever's doing some of that responding probably should have their head examined. Check us out at freetalklive.com. We've got all kinds of social media there. If you want to check out our Twitter, it's twitter.freetalklive.com. If you prefer Facebook, it's facebook.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $37.